My name's David Woodall with the Emsdale Pastoral Charge in the United Church of Canada. I remember my struggles when I was a teenager. Uh, Truthfully, there's lots of struggles no matter what age we are. For me, and I think for many of us, in those years, one of the struggles is about faith. Is there a God? Should I believe? What about all the awful things in the world? What about suffering? What about all those other religions? Is faith life different from real life? Would I ever be a person of faith at all? I remember the night when I was looking out over Lake Erie with the moon glistening across the absolutely flat surface of that lake, when all of those issues focused for me. Now, this gathering today, you and I on Zoom and all the folks who get together, is a time, even though we do it every week, it's a time in which we gently open windows into the life we live and share with each other and with our lives in the community. Now, all of us have had significant and challenging events in our lives over the past few years. And I'm sure if we asked each person who was listening to this, we would all have many stories we could share. But we're also the people who have done some amazing things on our own and collectively that have made a difference, and sometimes a remarkable difference, in our lives, in the life of our family, in the life of our community. All of us invest significant time, money, and emotion in the things we believe in. We invest significant time, money, and emotion into helping each other and helping our community. And the vision we share together of making a difference in the life and well-being of the places we live and the family we live with is so significant. We invest in people. That night, looking out over Lake Erie, I came to some realizations that have been part of my life since that time. I developed what my evangelical background would call a discovery of the spirituality that God has gifted me with. In my words at that time, I would have said I developed a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I invited him into my heart. Today, I would say that I've opened up myself to the rich spirituality that I have been gifted with. I've discovered my soul. I realized, of course, that I wasn't that interested in heaven. It just sounded boring, anything that I heard about that. What really struck me was finding shreds of hope and meaning that seemed to give all the struggles of humanity a way forward and a way of growing into some kind of new life, some kind of hopeful future. Our scripture passage for today goes like this. Then the king will say to those at his right hand, "Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me." And then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, when was it we saw you hungry and gave you food, or thirsty and gave you something to drink? And when was it that we saw you a stranger and welcomed you, or naked and gave you clothing? And when was it that you were sick or in prison and we visited you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I tell you, just as you did it to one of the least of these, you did it to me." A little over 2,000 years after those words were spoken by Jesus, I wonder, who are we? As a church, as a community, as humanity? You see, I believe in a spirituality which reaches into this world and around this world in order to help those who are in need. I believe in a spirituality in which every person has the right and the responsibility of equal participation. I believe in a faith which is active, which reaches out, which puts itself on the line in order to help real people in real situations. I believe in a faith which takes significant interest in people, which nurtures families, which welcomes the amazing diversity of life which welcomes the community and is part of the community. I believe that we bring a real sense of hope and optimism to people when we embody our spirituality, when we nurture our souls, and we strive to be the very best we can be. I believe that we're called to explore new ideas and innovative ways of doing things, which encourages us to think. I believe in this united church, whose arms are so wide that the whole world comes in and it changes it from my church to our church. I believe in a church which speaks and lives Jesus Christ in every word which is said, every prayer prayed, every song sung, and every action undertaken. I believe in a spirituality which knows what it means to say, we believe. And because we believe, we will walk boldly into tomorrow, unafraid, because God is with us. No matter how you spell that name, God is with us, and we will make a difference wherever we go. It is our privilege and honor these days for us to be together. We're here for a purpose, and I can assure you that that purpose has very little to do with the color of carpets or the style of screensavers on computers or what snack we're going to have at the next meeting, or even if we have a meeting. We're a place of the Spirit. We are the believers in the good part of life. And we're the good guys, the men, women, youth, and children who will do whatever we can, whenever we can, wherever we can, just as much as we can, to bring out the goodness and the justice and the hope of life for anyone. We'll be honest with ourselves. We'll do what we can to correct the past, but we will build a future. I remember standing and looking out over Lake Erie with the moon glistening across the absolutely flat surface of that lake. Perhaps I saw there the shreds of hope that were to come to give my life so much meaning. I was all alone, but I wasn't really alone. I think God was there. This incredible spiritual presence which influences and infuses all of humanity, and which feels so very personal at the same time. I see the same things in the eyes of so many people, in your eyes and in your ears and in your hearts. You see, quite simply, we're a good group, and this is a good time for us to be together, because we're God's people, and thank God for that.